This UFL Picks Week 2 edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up at Underdog Fantasy, promo code SGPN to get up to $1,000 in bonus credits. We're also brought to you by Edge Boost. Get up to $750 in cashback rewards each month when you sign up at edgeboost.bet and use that promo code SGPN.
This is Jerry Glanville, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, brother.
Long, Cox. He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
You know what? Now that college basketball basically over,
yeah,
I'm back to being excited about the UFL.
The United Football League, the best run professional sports organization. The smartest individuals operating it.
But I was reminded by someone wise, one of the DM merchants out there,
okay,
who suggested that if the league was good, the show would not be. I mean, because then you're just talking about bad football.
Yeah.
So there is an aspect of the bad football being run by bad management too. Because if these people were good, they'd be running a bit. They wouldn't be in the Ponzi league scheme. Also excited to get Colby on because him and I late last night after the Final Four episode, we were deep diving into the International Football Alliance, which if you're not up to speed on, we may have to cover an additional football league this year, Sean.
Yes. Colby trying to push some international.
We're definitely talking this league.
Joining us on the line from the UFL Gambling Podcast, Colby Dant, aka Pick Dundee. Colby, you and Kramer after our Final Four picks episode, go check that out if you want to watch high level sports. We're got in this long conversation. It sounded like you were talking about our old buddy from Major League, the Mexican Penal League. But what was the international league you were talking about?
Well, Hal Mummy, our friend Hal Mummy, who started the air raid offense with Mike Leach. Hal's been on our show, but he was kind of the mastermind, I guess the funding contacted Hal Mummy about putting this league together. So he was, very influential in putting this thing together. Now it's been a little wacky as far as we thought we had 3 Mexican teams. I don't know if something, I don't know if anything, maybe the presidential election had something to do with it, but it's now down to 1 Mexican team.
Could be the tariffs.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I was
really
looking.
The tariffs on spring football could crush this league, and that would be, I guess, Trump's ultimate revenge because he messed up the USFL and everyone blamed him for it. They made a documentary saying he fucked up. He basically destroyed spring football. Now spring football has rose from the ashes.
This is not a political statement, but please keep Trump away from all football leagues.
Yes. Although I like his stance on the kickoff.
Yeah. I agree with this kickoff stance.
It's a trap though, Colby. It's a trap. Nothing good will come of this.
Don't get me wrong. I'm still pissed from him shutting down the USFL. So I don't know that you can ever overcome that, by the way.
Colby, one of the clear bylines of this show is clowning on poor scheduling decisions. The one big idea he had was to compete with the NFL.
Yeah. Horrible. What are you doing?
I mean,
and again, we like football. We love football here. We love betting on football. That is how we built this company.
Yes.
Is sharing our love for betting on football. So the critiques we give of the United Football League are strictly out of love, like a parent who's busting his son's balls. I saw a guy, and I wish I would have grabbed a photo of it. He was walking around with March Madness here. It's like, I'm here with my 2 idiot children or something like that. Like just basically insulting the kids walking around with them. So not Father of the Year material, but I was dying laughing.
But back to the International Football Alliance, which we will 100% be covering their games. Colby, I actually spent more time on this. It does seem like the owner of the league was just a guy who was involved in one of the Mexican teams. And that league went defunct, and it sounds, he's somehow a guy named Jason Adams, but Sean Merriman's media company, which we may,
let me guess, Lights Out Media.
Lights Out. He's got a whole enterprise of Lights Out stuff. We might need to do a deep dive on that. They all seem like pyramid schemes. So a little worried about the media distribution rights of the International Football Alliance, but there will be 6 teams. Okay. There are, here's the best part. There is one team in Chihuahua, Mexico. I believe that's that we confirm. Then there's a team in Huntsville, Alabama. The Alabama.
What?
So
so this is a fentanyl ring, right?
No.
You run it. Oh, hey, just take these, grab these footballs, and you need them for the game, right? Okay, just take those footballs from Chihuahua, Mexico to Huntsville, Alabama.
So Chihuahua is a central, in the middle of Mexico, near the border. There will be a team in Huntsville. So the Chihuahua,
the stadium is just a big ruse for them, like building a tunnel underneath the stadium.
I mean,
I'm looking how far that tunnel would have to
a lot of questions here, but the Chihuahua rebellion in Mexico. Then you have the Alabama Beavers playing in Huntsville. You then have the Ohio Valley Ironmen, Sean, playing up in Wheeling, West Virginia, which is basically on the border of Ohio, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia.
A lot of opiate issues up there. Okay, keep going.
Now that you bring up the drug thing, this is making a lot more sense. but it gets better, Sean.
All these towns have some issues with narcotics.
They have the San Antonio Caballeros, which that's the Hal Mummy team. He's coaching the Tampa Tornadoes. So they got a team in Florida. This literally is like an extension of the opiate highway or whatever they call it. And then we have the Texas Pioneeros, which is, I think, one of the Mexican teams that moved north of the border in Georgetown, Texas. That will be coached by former Baylor head coach Art Briles.
Wow.
Sean. So,
okay, that's a guy I know.
Everyone deserves a second chance. I thought this was America/Mexico.
Yeah.
All right.
And guess what, Sean?
I thought this was Mexico.
There is an expansion team planned for 2026, and you wouldn't believe the state it's in.
Idaho.
No. Think drug trafficking.
Oh, Georgia?
Close. Arkansas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Big.
So
time.
they're just positioning these teams around major highways, distribution points.
Which definitely don't have California plates driving through Arkansas. That would be.
Oh yeah, might get a little trouble there.
If you got the International Federation of Football Alliance on here, then you're going right through the border. Whatever you got in your trunk, no problem. Just football equipment here.
Now I was a little crushed when the Cancun Sharks, who I was ready to buy the gear.
Yeah,
Cancun
very cool
Sharks aren't playing right now.
Cancun? What are you getting Somali shipped in?
I mean, we were guys. I was making plans for us to go there. I'd already talked.
That would actually be
so. We were also doing some math, like what kind of money did they have to raise here? Colby believes they also have media distribution on Tubi.
Well, I read that, but I mean, they're going 53-man rosters, which was a bit stunning to me as a spring,
Colby, how
can they find 53 guys? Imagine being like the third string practice squad for the international football.
For context, Colby, how many players are on the UFL roster?
I think it's 38, right? I think it's 38.
So
yeah.
We did some math. The salaries are expected to be between $400 and $1,500, but really the $1,500 contracts are just for the quarterbacks. They have to have 3. And 6 teams, basically everyone else is going to be making the minimum. We rounded up a little bit. They're going to need like $3 million just to pay the players. If there's 53-man rosters.
By the way, UFL is 42.
42. That involves most of the players making $400. So just for that, you're doling out $3 million. I'm not really sure where you're getting a $3 million rights deal with some 6 team. Yeah, exactly, Sean. We're
here's your $400 in salary. Why is it in this wrapped up brown package? Now here's what you do to get your salary. You have to drop this bag off at this location. Here's a burner phone to connect with. I just love that this football league is just a front for an international drug running operation.
Allegedly.
I read something that they're trying to get to 3 to 4 or like a bunch of Mexican teams in there, which I'm all on board. I've been saying this for 30 fucking years, guys. Maybe. Yeah, well, especially I just wanted to get Mexico involved with this, but it wins me over when it says this right here. First paragraph: the International Football Alliance is a professional outdoor 11-man American football league. God damn it! There's a Jason Adams. You got my vote for president. Let's go.
So be careful because I looked into Jason Adams a little bit, and like I said, his story starts when he was the in Idaho, Nampa, Idaho. He was the head football coach of JV and the varsity quarterbacks and wide receivers coach. He then went into the private sector for a number of years and then pops back up as a partner for this football team.
Seems legit. Totally nothing to see here. What about UFL Week One?
Oh, whoa. See what Sean's trying to do here. Anyway, we will be covering this.
Yes. Thing. UFL Week One. Shout out to us. Just cash machine, complete domination. Kramer and I 5-2. Colby 6-1. The only thing we were really off on was the Stallions game. Of course, the total was Kramer and I had the under on the Brahmas Renegades that came in at 39. That was kind of annoying. And then there was that push on the Memphis total there.
Both of the totals were kind of tough losses and pushes.
And then we were off on the Stallions getting the win and the cover. That was really the only thing we were way off on. DC won outright. Colby, was any big takeaways Week One? Are the Stallions? Where are we at with the Stallions? That the looked okay. They seem like a tough out at home.
See, I'm not going to hit the panic button. Oh, the offensive line looked a lot worse than the years past. But you see, in this league, one of the bigger mistakes they've made is they just phone it in with these like NFL guys that I don't think are very, very good as head coaches. Like, you know what? The reason why Skip Holtz has dominated or Bob Stoops, actually, I think all their championships have come from college coaches because you have to adapt your roster every fucking year, which I think gives you a huge edge as far as coaching, especially in a spring league. So I think Skip Holtz will be fine. I think they'll make adjustments. They'll simplify the game and they'll be fine. Don't panic. But I do think the league has a problem watching Twitter and just seeing how many fans were irritated with Bryce Perkins just dominating, but then getting taken out of drives. So he'll just go straight down the field for 80 yards, look awesome. And then the next possession is Danny Etling. And the same can be said for Anthony McFarland, who I think is the best running back in the league for the Brahmas. Hey, you know what? And it's just, I don't think the communist thing works. Like, like they pay every quarterback. It's the same pay.
Yeah.
That's a problem. Bryce Perkins is better than every fucking quarterback.
QB1. Yeah, come on.
Well, and if I try to think about this, if I was a fan as a kid growing up before, because we cover the league, like if I was in Michigan and I wanted to have any interest in rooting for this team, well, I would want to see the best fucking player play the entire fucking game, right? It's a stupid thing they're doing. It's a very stupid thing that they've been doing. I don't understand how you're going to be able to gain fans if you can't play the best players the majority of the time.
Yeah, like what is that? This league in particular, the UFL, they've gone out of their way to do these 2 quarterback systems when it's one thing if you don't really have one good quarterback, but in a lot of them, there is a very obvious one quarterback is better than the other. I don't get this. Why are they? And it's not just one coach. It's like multiple coaches are holding on to this idea. And it was weird. The Stallions were the one that actually probably should have brought in Matt Corral because Alex Magoo was a little all over the place.
Yeah, he looked a little rough. Their O-line got beat up. Apparently, Skip Holtz had called, Shannon. What the hell is it? Shannon Harris, a doorman. What are you reading there? Right?
Kramer reading Luis Perez, the Spring King.
So light reading in the morning. Forward.
How can he write so much about a league that he's played in like 10 games?
Well, he played in the USFL, the XFL, and the AAF. So I'm sure it's covering
40
all
games,
of those.
30 games.
All right, let me just.
Doesn't feel like an entire
So
book.
you're like 23, I feel like. But
How many pages do you think are in this thing? Give me a page,
170.
205.
Colby almost nailed it. 168.
Oh, look at this UFL sharp.
168.
Who's the real
quick.
spring king? I think I'm the real spring king. Who the fuck is this Perez guy coming in on my turf?
Let me just quickly read 2 seconds of the forward here by Coach Bob Stoops. The Spring King is an extraordinary story of perseverance, self-discipline, and the relentless pursuit of excellence. I mean, Bob Stoops really blowing smoke up.
They called him. He was probably shit hammered on his own tequila, and he just gave a statement for them to put there. But
hold on, Colby. This is why I wanted to read it, because this is how Bob Stoops signs his name in the forward. Coach Bob Stoops, national championship (2000), winningest coach in Oklahoma history (190 wins). Inducted into College Football Hall of Fame (2021). What a flex!
Well, the Oklahoma one
did not put head coach Arlington Renegades.
Somehow that didn't make the list.
The Oklahoma one's a little bold, considering he only won one natty. Like the seasons are longer now. That's the only reason why. But back to the original gameplay. It drives me crazy though when you see like. They got to fix that problem if they want to have any hope of being a fucking league. Because Bryce Perkins, in my opinion, is like he's better than everybody. He should get on the NFL roster.
Well, it's like PJ Walker back in what was that the XFL? He was awesome. He was exciting to watch. He kind of dominated the league. He ended up making it to the NFL. He had a couple of big throws in the NFL. Hasn't had like a awesome career, but the fact that you can follow him from the spring league to the NFL. I think is cool.
And I think to answer your question, Ryan, the fact that I think that they say, hey, we'll come play in this league. We're going to give you a certain percentage of snaps, which I think is bad for the fan. I think they're not thinking about the fan. The fan, like
that they've made guarantees on.
They're all paid the same too. Perkins should be paid more than every other fucking quarterback.
Colby's point. It has to be some sort of agreement of, hey, if you decide to sign with the team, we'll give you X
Does
amount.
Luis Perez come out of the game? Like
no,
it's not every team.
It's weird.
That's what makes it puzzling.
No, he did last year. Not last year. Sometimes like because Holton Ahlers, I know he would come in. He was from ECU, so I know he came in on certain plays. The same with Lindsey Scott. Now he played majority of the game, but I don't know. It's a strange thing. And I just think if you're trying to build a league, you want fans to buy in. I'd be pissed if I'd be like, hey, this guy is way better than everybody else on the fucking team. And we never get him the ball. Yeah. Like,
well, I mean, for the fan, like if a fan is at the game taking in their first UFL game, that might be confusing if they see a different quarterback, regardless if the quarterback's playing well. It's like,
come on. If you're at this game, you're hammered out of your mind, or you're setting some gambling action. You're not. But dude, you're not like, hey, I just love sports today.
This is another failure of the UFL is how they're not giving tickets away to youth sports groups.
Yeah,
to fill up these stands, make it a charitable thing. Whatever you got to do, like that is a
beer night.
Massive miss. Like, I mean, pro teams are giving away concessions for free. Who do we see is just saying like anyone who's in the game can make 4 trips to the concession and get 4 things for each trip. I mean, come on. You want people.
I remember being a kid, and we had the Baltimore Stallions. We're a CFL team that came to Baltimore, and me and my brothers were like, hey, we got to watch this. We got football, and they had a great quarterback named Tracy Ham and a great running back named Mike Pringle, and we saw them play and they balled out, and we're just like, wow, this is awesome. We have like the best quarterback in the fucking league, and he ended up being like a that franchise left when the Ravens came, but you're shooting yourself in the foot if you can't root for your like the best players in the league. Like that is what you should be marketing. And then to Pat Kappa's point, I mean, The league's already been trashed with the fucking dumbass rules regarding the kickoff and the onside kick. But now there's a third element they swept under the rug.
Is really good, right?
They swept this under the rug. We had this great moment in the Stallions game where like the dude literally just drops a dime of a punt, like bounces perfectly out of bounds at the 1 yard line, like drops inside the 10, not just gets kicked out of the end zone or, or towards the side of the sidelines. This one actually touched the grass where, just any other form of football, it'd be like, what a fucking great punt. And then they set up their offense. You're assuming it's going to be at the 1 yard line. You're like, man, the Stallions could get back in this game. They could maybe get a safety, force a turnover inside the 10. No, they put it at I think it was the 25. It was either the 20 or 25. And we're like, wait, the announcers are like, why the fuck are they doing that? Even their own announcers were like, why is this happening? Right. And old Blandino comes in and goes, well, now it's a new rule that you can't, we want them to return the ball. Well, first off, who the fuck would actually return that anyway inside the 1 yard line? Like, and then especially if if it goes out of bounds, it is a touchback. And this highlights the insanity of this league. The fact that they
didn't test this rule.
It's clear the punter and the coaches didn't know the rule, because you wouldn't intentionally try and kick the punt out of bounds at the one. You don't accidentally kick a coffin corner punt, which means the punter didn't know the rule, which means the coach and the punter didn't know the rule, which means what kind of fucking bullshit league are you running where you don't even tell the players, the announcers, the players, and the coaches didn't know the rule? That is not a good way.
What is the strategy from the punter now? Like, what's the point of having the fucking punter? I don't even understand it.
Their point. So the official rule is a punt that goes out of bounds inside the receiving team's 25 yard line is treated as a touchback with the ball placed at the 25 yard line.
What a stupid fucking
aiming
league.
To discourage coffin corner punts. And encourage fourth down attempts. Then just get rid of punts. Like, if you're gonna do that, to limit.
Who do we gotta talk to? Special teams is supposed to be cool. They're to me, that's a great element of football. T-shirt.
Special teams are supposed to be cool.
Hey, I want to see kick returns. I want to see punt returns. I want to see block punts. I want to see, that's an element of football that is awesome. And you're just fucking torching this. What is this dumb rule?
I think you can achieve a rule that promotes returning punts.
Yeah. It's called play football. Football.
But I mean, you can do it without it's not like they're not battling against, you weren't returning these punts anyway. Like the part of the field that they're attacking with this rule, you rarely see returns there anyway.
Yeah.
And so all you've done here, if I'm reading this rule and I'm a coach, there's no, you're just kicking it out of the end zone or you're trying to dink it into the middle of the field. What this might result in, if a team is smart, is realizing that we should bring back the college style rollout, kick a low punt that just rolls and eventually stops somewhere, becomes very hard to return, and that's crap football.
Well, you're just taking the strat. Like part of what makes special teams great is
it's the bad rule.
Strategy.
They didn't test this rule.
Yeah.
They didn't
All
run this rule.
Terrible. You can't even do a fucking onside kick.
It seems unnecessary at the very least.
I also think, to your point, I like their onside kick option, like the offense option.
Oh no,
no.
Fucking 12 yards. It should be 25 yards if you're going to do that. What are the odds on
Let me finish. 4th and 12 is too easy.
Yeah.
And you should have the choice: onside kick or, to Colby's point, I think the math actually suggests 4th and 20 is.
But even that though, I think you're only looking at the yardage. The probabilities of a flag, I think, make it 4th and 25 or 4th and 30, because the probabilities of a flag are very likely in today's day and age of garbage football.
Maybe. I don't have a repulsive take like you on the idea of the having an offensive play replace the onside kick.
I just don't think it should happen. I don't think it should happen. I think your kicker's already useless. So you're going to give him another job that he doesn't have. What's the point of his roster spot?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm fine with having. I mean, we've taken kickers out of fantasy. I'm fine if we want to take the kickers out of the game, but just let's make it clear.
Yeah.
No need for kickers, and that's that. But
I like the kicker-free league.
yeah,
but
why
the strategy, like it's so killer to me. Like
Colby's killing a position.
How great is it? How great is it? Like when you see, I've seen many games turn on like a punt that goes out of bounds at the 1, which then sets up a safety or a defensive touchdown or something, a strip sack.
Football is good as is. The reason we're watching it isn't because of your crazy rules or whatever. It's because other better football isn't on. So just keep it as close to regular football as you can would be my overall.
What I would do is read between the lines here on what the NFL wants to do. And this is the NFL's testing ground for rules. And so this one has to change though. This is clearly well, all you've done is you've actually made it less exciting now because
just like the kick return, kick return.
Not quite like the kick return.
All right, we got a bunch of games to get to. Before we do, of course, hey, we're running a special golf contest. Augusta is right around the corner. I know Colby's got his pimento cheese sandwiches, his green jacket ready to go.
Very nice.
And we teamed up with Splash Sports once again for a sweet contest up to $30K in prizes, depending obviously how many of you DGens get in there. Only a $25 entry fee. Very easy. Pick your 6 favorite golfers. Head over to splashsports.com/SGPN. That's splashsports.com/SGPN. Of course, tune in. Golf Gambling Podcast, Steffi Smalls Show, Bottom Line Bombs. Get all your Masters picks. And if you're betting on the Masters, you should be using the Edge Boost Visa debit card, the official card of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Love this thing. First of the month was just a few days ago, and I got a sweet bonus from Edge Boost. Now I got a couple of bucks kicking around the old account that I can use on crazy bets because hey, it's not my money, it's Edge Boost's money, and I got it by using the card, doing stuff you're already going to do. Deposit at sportsbooks, DFS sites, casinos, and you get sweet cash back. It's also FDIC insured and it's free. Head over to edgeboost.bet and use a promo code SGPN. And of course, shout out to mybookie.ag. If you're looking for a place to bet on the Crown basketball tournament, mybookie.ag has you covered. Of course, also got you covered for the Masters. So much more. UFL, they have it all. Easy deposit, even easier withdrawal with that sweet cryptocurrency. MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN.
There are pictures in the Spring King as well.
Really? Okay. Awesome.
It's a great shot of Bob Stoops in the back. Just teasers for days over here. All right. So the Slide Master was gracious enough to create some slides for week 2. And, all the way back at the beginning of the show, when you were asking about Birmingham and the loss, we ended up going on a little bit of a tangent there, but what I would have also mentioned was, my goodness, Colby, are these, what's going on here? My mistake. That the Stallions, not only did they lose their game, they didn't exactly look like themselves. They seem to be playing, would like to see what the other quarterback looks like. But they're now laying 2.5 points, shorter number on the road though, against the Michigan Panthers, a team that I like the roster. I think I have them up behind only Arlington in the power rankings right now. And specifically, this was a team that did well at home. Granted, Colby will remind us it was a kicker that was part of the reason they were
carrying their offense. Although they
in the NFL,
off to a decent start week 1.
Yes,
took care of the Showboats. I think their defense is pretty good.
Panthers plus 115, 38.5 is the total. We had not much adjustment on the totals. They were pretty dialed in last week. Obviously, a couple games coming in right around the number. But man, this is both a spot I would love to bet on the Stallions coming off a loss with a real short number here. But I don't know if they deserve to be the favorites over the Panthers. If we didn't watch them play a game, what is this spread? 3.5? I don't think there's much room for it to be that much bigger. The Panthers do have a good defense that would have been factored in, and they look like a pretty solid unit altogether.
Yeah, Panthers were 4.5 point road favorites against the Showboats. One, covered that easily. Good defense, solid enough offense. it's hard to not like the Panthers here as a home dog. I guess the only case is, do we believe in the culture of Birmingham? They've had a nice winning run here the past couple of years. Is this a bounce back spot where they're a little rusty? Will we see Matt Corral? Colby, what's your take on this Stallions game?
Yeah, I'm locking up the Stallions.
Really?
Yeah. I look. Skip Holtz will make adjustments. Mike Nolan hasn't adjusted to anything in 30 years. All right, like this is a guy that was 18-37 as an NFL head coach. He's 11-9 as a UFL head coach. Bryce Perkins will probably get half the reps. Etling will get the other half, which I think favors the Birmingham Stallions.
Yeah, that's the other wild card is how much is he going to stick to the Perkins Etling combo?
Yeah, and I know that the Stallions O-line. I mean, look, I think practice you can get after the O-line pretty hard. Alex Mago, I think a lot of people, the reason why he looks so bad and he did hang onto the ball in a lot of instances, but also their O-line was getting fucking destroyed. The blitz pickups were fucking terrible. I think a lot of that you could fix on film.
But this isn't the matchup you want coming off that kind of game from your O-line. I mean, the Michigan Panthers are going to, if they play like that, they're going to destroy them.
I mean, look, Michigan looked decent, but to me that they haven't been a prolific offense in this league under Mike Nolan. Like, so
yeah, I think I'll ride with Colby here because I think when in doubt, you ride with the teams that at least have the history of being the best for the longest. And I would say kind of an underrated factor. You saw that towards the end of the game, Alex Magoo using his wheels, using his legs to avoid the pressure or just to pick up big plays with on the ground. I think he's an interesting DFS play or maybe an underdog pick him, take his higher rushing yards if they're going to offer it. So I'll ride with Colby. Give me Birmingham as well. Kramer, you're on. It sounds like you're on the Panthers.
Go ahead, Colby.
I was gonna say, like, we've covered the Stallions for every game when they were in the USFL to this, and I've never recalled a time that their offense was that bad. 138 yards. Even in any of their other losses, I feel like they were putting up 300. They're gonna put up like at least 250, 300. I would say.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Michigan. I do think that Birmingham will bounce back, but I think this is a tough spot for them to do that again. If their offensive line isn't right, Michigan's defensive line is going to destroy them. And I don't know if they need to necessarily be great on offense.
But Birmingham, as FBI Tugboat points out, Birmingham has owned Michigan. That hasn't beaten them in 3 years.
Yeah, they've also looked like the best team in the league the last 3 years.
They also didn't look horrible.
They looked horrible.
Oh, I didn't.
No, the defense looked all right. It was the O-line.
Offense was a little out of sync.
Yeah.
They played against one of the teams we were clowning for having their coaches be like part-time employees.
Well, I didn't realize that Shannon Harris was called a bellman allegedly, even though Skip Holtz said no.
Yeah,
I didn't.
We missed the personal angle there.
Yeah, but I don't.
And Greg Williams was clearly the coach.
Yeah, he was talking to the media. I also don't know how. Yeah, I don't know how the defenders are a complete wild card to me. And that's what's kind of holding me back on my Stallions take. So I am willing to pivot here. Panthers home game. Give it to me. That game is being played on Friday at 5 p.m. This game is being played Saturday, 5 p.m. right during the Final Four. Smart move.
Good to compete with them.
DC, the defenders laying 8 points. There may be some 7.5 out there. Also some 8.5 out there. The Showboats, I think they're not quite auto fade zone, but man, they have some room for improvement. Plus 310 on the money line. 37 is the total. Last week, I should have listened to my own advice when I said, I know we like Birmingham. Birmingham's great. We took Birmingham, but should any team in the spring league be a plus 310 dog ever? I do have a lot of questions about the come down after that bell hop, whatever Dorman.
Clearly an emotional win.
Greg Williams pointing out that he's running the plays that his players like, not the plays that he likes. I just see this defenders team is going to be high volatility. I'm not willing to say I'm more willing to say the Stallions played like crap than the defenders beat them. They did beat them too, but I don't know how good they are.
Well, I would also
Memphis
say
is close to auto fade though.
Yeah. For me, Memphis is auto fade. I mean, EJ Perry, EJ Perry 93 passing yards. That's
I
just
think they
not winning
found
football.
something with Troy Williams though, man. When they switched to Troy Williams, I think he looked a lot better.
Is Troy Williams starting, Colby?
It's this league, dude. They're just going to play both 50-50. So for a half of the game, their offense will look
Showboats very bad ATS last year as well.
Yeah, and I think 8's too much though, man. I think 8's too much for DC. I mean, look, DC looked good, but there's clear emotions behind that game. It seemed like, and we're getting closer to the spring game at Tennessee State. So I just wonder how much time are you really putting into the UFL? If Greg Williams is throwing his own team under the bus, well, I can't call these plays because I don't got any good players on the defense. I think he doesn't give a fuck because he's Tennessee State's defensive coordinator. So, I'll take the 8 in Memphis. I think they could stay within this number. Wouldn't surprise me if they won it. And Ken Wisenhunt is back. Ken Wisenhunt is back. Remember, he quit for a week. Why not just say he was sick? This guy, what did he have? Like, he had something. This was something that he didn't realize. Like, he gave his wife that weekend. He's like, "Oh shit, I forgot I'm coaching the UFL." Right?
Yeah. Do we get? I forgot about that. Is this an emotional get up spot for the Showboats getting Wisenhunt back?
Well, I think the key aspect, like we pointed out in the first game, like they don't have an offensive coordinator. Ken Wisenhunt was the offensive coordinator.
Yeah. All right, so I'll take Memphis plus 6.
This is a huge. This is plus potentially
8, buddy. You can get 8.
Yeah, 8. Yeah. This is potentially a massive upgrade at just the offense. I mean, also to see that they did make a switch and they did start seeing results. Like obviously they were without the guy that was meant to be the captain of the offense, aka the play caller. And so this is huge, I think. Also, you can say things about Ken Wisenhunt. He was a successful play caller in his time in the NFL. So that does strike me as the kind of advantage that will be useful in this one. So yeah, we're going to take the points. The money line, I think, with the letdown possibilities here. Also, this is the most lopsided game. Bet split wise.
The sharps are
early in the week. I don't know.
I like UFL betting splits.
The chat's talking about family emergency. No, he went and picked strawberries and got his wife Imagine Dragons tickets and then he realized
we don't know. It's not been public, but it was pretty clear that they, whatever was going on was some sort of family emergency, which it's shocking to see him come back so quickly from. So to Colby's theory, perhaps there was. I know
damn well. You got to please the wife. He's, honey, I retired from the NFL. I'm not going to do this coaching thing anymore. Right.
And then one week at home, he's like, "I'm back, baby." I like DB Cooper in the chat. His theory: Wisenhunt found out he wasn't eligible for unemployment, so he came back. They're like, no, you can't. If you quit your job, you can't collect unemployment. And although it's probably a pay cut to UFL over unemployment. All right, Kramer, what other games we got?
All right. So danger here, DC in the Discord card. Sunday, 9 a.m. Arlington, Texas, where we get to see the best team in the league, or at least after 1 week. Hard to not.
I didn't even correct the San Antonio Brahmas here. It's the Houston Roughnecks, but yeah.
Oh wow! Look at these mistakes. This is
San Antonio Brahmas. Wow! Even Colby phones it in for UFL.
This is a
really for the Roughnecks. Oh, how about the commish guys? You buying that bullshit? The pilot came to me and we were over the Pacific Ocean. He got down on his knee and he said, "You know what?
Yeah.
You got to turn back." I think it had something to do with the little bad PR that the players wanted to personally deliver a note regarding their stance on the league.
The Rock not showing up. Yeah, so the Rock was supposed to go to the game.
I'm not buying that bullshit. Fucking, he's the Rock. You can fly
I'd
to
say
goddamn.
A little odd to have that dramatic explanation.
I don't understand it. The Rock owns the UFL, right, or has some investment in it, and he's selling it short. Yeah, he doesn't want to post on Instagram about Arlington. I don't get it.
But what was going to happen though? The players were going to deliver a handwritten letter.
Yeah.
And I think that's 100% why he didn't show up. It's because he claims to be always on the side of the players. And if you do that, then you're kind of caught in a catch-22 there. So Yeah, great story. I'm not buying this shit that you couldn't get to Houston, Texas from. You're the fucking Rock. Are you kidding me?
He's a wrestling guy. He understands the importance of a heel. Arlington, Texas, Renegades, Roughnecks, early kick. Again, I don't. I mean, the Renegades as a dog last week was obviously a comical mistake.
Yes.
They're minus 550 on the money line. Roughnecks are plus 410. They're laying 10 points. I say the same thing. Should any team be double digit favorites? 39 is the total. The Roughnecks are in auto fade mode for me. And if there's one team that I'm comfortable betting on to score a lot of points, it's this. I mean, the guy's selling books.
Spring King.
The Spring King is trying to move product.
This is less about Arlington. This number is probably inflated, to your point, Ryan. But
oh my God,
the Houston coach, the organization is just so bad. You gotta fade them. They put up 6 points barely.
Yeah. Got
slaughtered at home against the Battlehawks. There is no close your eyes special in the NFL because the close your eyes special in the NFL, the route to that is like, well, hey, they're in the NFL. They can only be so bad.
Yeah.
This does not apply to the UFL, and in particular with their coach. So I'm all over Arlington laying the big number. Colby, what are you doing?
Look, Houston is fucking awful, and it was hilarious seeing the. It was hilarious seeing the fact that they named Anthony Brown the starting quarterback again this week, right? Did you guys catch those? Like me and CJ were talking about this on the UFL show, and I've been watching football a long time. It's almost impossible to be this bad. How do you have a 12.9 rating like with this? So they threw 29 times. The Houston Roughnecks did. They averaged what 2.1 yards of completion. Like how's that even possible? Like I've watched triple option football where it's like, okay, you might see the quarterback go one of 3, but they threw 29 times. It's almost like I almost need to like this needs to be submitted into the fucking Hall of Fame because I'm like, how the fuck is that even like you if moving the ball forward? How do you only get 2.1 yards of completion? It's one of the more puzzling stats I've ever seen in my life. and to go back to Anthony Brown after that performance, I guess you got to go with your guys. But man, I can't take that team. That's a mind-numbing stat.
No.
I don't know if San Antonio is going to be complete ass. I think Arlington might actually have a little bit of a defense this year too, which. I mean, they're gonna have to make it. Arlington. We might have to take to fade in a couple of weeks when the spread gets too inflated.
Yeah, I mean, this is crazy. And to your point, Ryan, we expect them to blow them out here, and it'll probably adjust their power rankings for the sick fucks that bother doing power rankings for the UFL to the point where it's gonna be. They're going to be a value fading them because I don't think they're that good, but I think they're going to look pretty good after these first couple of weeks based on the teams they've played.
Have you guys ever seen a stat line like that? I've never ever seen a stat line like that ever.
He's like trash quarterback. No. He's living off the transfer to Oregon. By the way, Renegades 11-1 to open the season on the futures market, down to plus 430.
No, you didn't need to tell me that. CJ's been walking around the office telling everyone that could hear that. Oh, look at me! My 11-1's now only plus 430. It's not. He was saying the same thing about his 50-1 Arkansas when they were up big. Before they melted that game down. Of course, shout out to Underdog Fantasy. Use the promo code SGPN. Get in over there. 100% deposit bonus up to $1,000. UFL Fantasy projections will be up. They'll be up a little bit later. Good reason to hit up some of our guys, including J Mark. I see him in the chat right now over on the UFL Gambling Podcast. Hit him up as it gets closer to kickoff when they release the lines, see what he likes for some Underdog Fantasy. I know our buddy DJ Doc has also been giving out some plays for Underdog Fantasy. Promo code SGPN. Get in over there. Get in. Little spring league sweat. UnderdogFantasy.com. Promo code SGPN. And we're also brought to you by Rhythm. Rhythm just launched their brand new baseball product. And I mean, it doesn't get any better than what Rhythm's awesome for is one, building models for sports you already love and know a bunch about. But hey, you need a little AI data, some picks, some analysis. Rhythm is great for that. But Rhythm's also good. Hey, you got a little afternoon day baseball. Turns out you don't know anything about baseball. Doesn't matter. Rhythm has you covered. Look at all these great props they have. I'll throw one out here that Rhythm recommends. Joe Ryan under 17.5 total outs. That's even money. Rhythm likes that to hit at 69.1%. Head over to Rhythm, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. So they know we sent you, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM to get your 7-day free trial.
I was halfway done with my baseball model.
Oh, nice.
Almost dialing it in.
What are you naming your baseball model? Right?
We're getting there. haven't come Con maybe after our Knipple conversation last night.
Yeah, Con Knipple. You got to name it Steel, Ryan, because it's sharp. And shout out to Justin Steele.
I don't like that.
Okay,
that's actually a great. Maybe I'll call my baseball model Butter Knife.
Oh,
yeah. Because it's not going to be the sharpest model.
Yeah, but it'll get through butter.
Yeah, it does the job really well. All right. Last game, 3:30 p.m. on Sunday on the West Coast. We're heading to St. Louis for the Battlehawks. Laying a touchdown, -360 on the money line. Brahmas +285. 38.5 is the total. Battlehawks win was impressive, but as I was fiddling with my power rankings, I realized they played the Roughnecks, which is effectively in my model a non-game.
Yeah.
It's an assumed victory, and so nothing that happens in that game will be exciting. Now it's good to see that they were able to not completely trip on their face, but that makes me inclined to want to zig here, take the Brahmas. I don't think they're as bad as maybe they look. And Sean, I'm going to circle this one: pros versus Joe's game of the week. I think the pros like us will be all over the Brahmas here, catching the points. Unpopular dog.
Colby, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, hard to deduce just how good St. Louis is with that. You know, their defense. Their defense only gave up like 170 yards.
That might be a lot for Houston. I
think that's what I'm saying. I think that's more of a Houston thing than a St. Louis thing, and I expect San Antonio to bounce back. AJ Smith, their team's gotten better. They got to please give the ball to Anthony McFarland more. He's better than the league. The same situation last year. He's better than the rest of the league. Give him the ball.
I think you guys are kind of crazy. There are two teams in this league that have a home field advantage. DC, and it's minor, but St. Louis, this is all the city of St. Louis has going. They have Battlehawk fever. They might sell out again. They get up for this stadium. This place is going to be rocking. The Brahmas aren't going to know what hit them. I don't understand. The number has to be way bigger for me not to take St. Louis at home. Love St. Louis at home. I feel like they were a 7-point favorite once last year. They covered. I'll try and track it down. Their ATS record at home has to be very good. I'm surprised you guys are fading them in St. Louis.
I just think the Brahmas, they're better than their performance last week, and also Arlington. I think there's a reason why we took a future on them. I think St. Louis can still win this game. I mean, it wouldn't shock me if the Brahmas won it outright, but I think Wade Phillips will have a defensive game plan. Remember, they switched quarterbacks. Wilkins looked amazing, but you're playing the Roughnecks. I just don't know what to put into that. Curtis Johnson, God bless these spring leagues, because it's impossible to get fired, but he should have been fired a long time ago.
He's got a good contract.
So I don't know what to make. St. Louis looked amazing. They look like the fucking 72 Dolphins, but I think that's more about the rest.
That was on the road, and now they're going back home.
No one was at that fucking game. What it is? There's no fan base there.
Sure, but still on the road. Now they're going to be better with home field.
And I would say here would be my commentary about taking Kellen Mond. There were some good he did some there were some plays that Arlington couldn't stop, but they just didn't call it enough. He was throwing a very good back shoulder to those receivers on the outside. I have some level of faith that our boy when was he on the stat? Where was his last assistant job for Coach Leach? AJ Smith.
No, he was with June Jones.
Oh,
with
June. Oh, okay.
With the rough when you had Roughneck fever. That fever. What happened to that fever you had, Kramer?
Well, there were some great Hokies on that. I mean, I still have my Roughneck sweatshirt, but it's embarrassing as long as the franchise employs this. I mean, obviously it's like this is where having
the attendance for this battle, Colby, for someone who leans into home field advantage, the Battlehawks last game 34,000 compared to most of these teams don't break 10,000, 34,000, 32,000. They hit 40,000.
But if we're being honest, Wade Phillips is a way better. Anthony Beck, Tony Meatball, you know what I mean? Like I don't feel confident with him.
That's fine. That's fine.
So son of bum, I think even though he blew us off on his vacation to the NFL draft combine,
still holding on to it.
I got to take the Brahmas, man. I think they're live on the money line too. But I will say this: love that over.
Oh,
okay. That over. Let's hit that over here. Are we doing totals? We should be talking our totals again.
No, that was just the first week.
I was killing it. You kidding me?
No.
That was the first week.
If you want to toss in some totals for your locks, let's get to it. 3 locks, and are we doing 3 locks and a dog?
Whatever you want to do, Sean.
Oh well, we did 3 locks last week. Seemed to work out okay. Although we were 2-1. If we would have done, probably would have always had Birmingham in there. Kramer, what are you giving out?
We're gonna go dog Michigan Panthers. We're gonna go lock Arlington, lock Brahmas, and if you want to do a third lock, give me
Brahmas +7 is your lock. And sorry, what's your second lock?
Arlington -10.
Okay, and then
Michigan Panthers is your money line. Michigan Panthers is my money line. Give me Memphis plus the big ass number. That's going to be an interesting one. That's a game to track for me. Too bad it's during the Final Four. I'll track it on my phone.
All right, for me, lock. Give me Arlington laying the 10, St. Louis laying the 7, Birmingham laying the 2.5, and no, actually I'll do Memphis +8. I'm trying to give me a bad number on Memphis. Actually, can I cross off Memphis? Under 38.5 in the Stallions Panthers game is a lock. Oh, okay. I like that. Oh, maybe I'll throw in a total. Yeah, Colby, we probably I'm going to throw that. I assume we all like the under in that game.
Let's all take some totals here. I mean, look, in this league, I actually think totals are a smash play. You know, you could really, I like the over in the Brahmas Battlehawks, for the Roughnecks Renegades. That's a tricky one. That's actually the trickiest one out of the 4, because what can the Roughnecks do offensively? I'll take the under in the Roughnecks Renegades game. As far as the Showboats Defenders game, I will take give me the over 37 there.
But you're taking an under in the Renegades game against the Roughnecks. That's crazy.
I think the Roughnecks aren't going to score.
But our Renegades might get there by themselves.
Yeah, 42 to 6. It's kind of like last week's analysis of the St. Louis game. We covered by a half a point because the Roughnecks couldn't score. Right? Yeah.
So I'm with Kramer throwing the under in the Stallions Panthers game on. So that's one of my locks. St. Louis -7, Arlington -10, and then Memphis, shock of the world, to win on the money line. Sorry, Colby, what are your locks and any totals? You added in the under 38.5 for Stallions Panthers and the under 39, the Roughnecks
Well, I was
Renegades.
Just stating that for all the games because I think there's an edge to the totals in this bullshit league.
The only other game I'm going to be playing a total on is I think I'll play the Showboats Defenders under as well.
I like the over on that.
Really? Okay. Then I won't play it. Keep me off of it. If I'm not, again, that first game stands out. Both those defenses very good. I would be shocked.
That could be fair. That could be fair.
You want to give out some picks?
Locks.
Yeah. I'm locking up the Stallions -2.5 smash play. This is where coaching matters. Pay attention, fellas. And then
I'm on Birmingham.
But I mean, you didn't lock it, buddy. Disappointed.
All right. You know what? Get rid of my total. I'm not a totals guy. Give me Birmingham -2.5. Lock it up. All three favorites on my lock.
A little pressure, and I got that thing.
You have a lot of dogs for a guy who points out the better team always wins in these spring leagues. Just a reminder.
These are huge numbers, though.
Okay, just a reminder. Colby, keep going.
I'm gonna lock up Arlington -10. I can't take Curtis Johnson seriously. And then the other one will be let's go with Memphis +8, and Memphis on the money line is the play as well.
He's walking on Memphis. All right, good times as always. Make sure you check out Colby.
Just real quick, pulled up last year's sheet, and the spreads were 2, 5, 6.5, and 5 week 2. Just saying, like this is different. What we're seeing this year, we're seeing really, really big spreads. I mean, we rarely saw the spread north of 8 last year until week 6, and then things went crazy. So I'm just saying, it's different than college basketball. Sometimes you got to take a nice dog.
I actually think that might have been the worst of any of these leagues as far as having two teams with lower than 170 yards of offense. I don't know that that's happened in any of these ones that we've covered since, we've been, AAF, XFL 2.0, XFL 3.0, USFL 2.0. I don't think I've ever seen two teams after 1 week with less than 170 yards. So,
the defenses are caught up.
Glad to see UFL. This is evolving.
Check out Colby, J Mark, and CJ on the UFL Gambling Podcast. If you're looking for a UFL
coming
deep dive,
coming up next,
yeah, hop over on YouTube. College experience as always, college basketball, college football. And tune in tomorrow night. We're at the beautiful Circa in Las Vegas for our live VSiN show. Got a special guest, a boxer. You're not going to want to miss him. Tune in Friday night, VSiN, 8:00 Pacific. And if you're out there in Vegas, we're always down to hang out. Show ends at 11. So hit us up over there and check out the merch store. Got a bunch of good stuff as always over there. And hop in our Augusta Challenge. Splashsports.com/SGPN. And as always,
thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green. He's Ryan.
Colby's stoked on the UFL again this year. Sean
Kramer, let it ride.